Have you ever thought about this gospel? Really think about this gospel. I'm struck because I'm wondering who or what kind of a person could approach somebody else and with just a few words encourage them to leave their job and follow them, right? That's it had to be a pretty powerful experience, don't you think? There had to be something there. I said it in TWS this week, but there had to be something really special about that encounter that they had with Jesus, because fishing was not just like a poor person's sport. That was a quite lucrative job in first century Palestine. If you were a fisher person, you were doing quite well, sociologically, and all of that. You had it going, So to do that and to leave that had to be quite significant, I would think. So my friends, I really believe that at the core of this gospel, at the really center of this gospel, there's a kernel of something that you and I need to get at, I think. There's a kernel that's as unique as each one of us as individuals, and I believe as universal as we are human. I really believe there's a kernel here. And I think the kernel might be put something like this. Who is your God? Who is your God? What does your God look like? And who is this Jesus person to whom you and I give so much power and credence in our lives? You see, my friends, I believe that the call of the early disciples has a lot more to do and to say about us today and our beliefs and our theology than maybe it does to say about them and the call of the early disciples. I really believe that. Because here it is in a nutshell, even in the midst of ourselves, we have to answer that question. Is our God even remotely attractive? Is our God even a minusculely bit attractive? Because who wants to follow a bum? Our God has to be at least somewhat engaging in our lives, right? But ask ourselves, what does our God look like? What does our God look like? And what does this Jesus that you and I believe in look like? And what does this Jesus that you and I believe in even say? And what have we said and we taught in our lives about God and about Jesus? I really have been coming a long way in my own theological development, in my own prayer, thinking, wow, I don't know that the God that I believed in, or even the Jesus that I've preached for a good number of years, is very attractive at all. I don't know that I could sell him to myself. I don't know about y'all, but it could be a hard sell. It could be a hard sell. So that might be our fundamental questions. We've spent literally thousands of years doing theology, my friends. We've spent thousands of years developing very complex and very simple systems to understand who this God is and how this God acts in our world. But nobody I have ever known has been converted to our faith because of apologetics. Apologetics is the term that we give to those things that describe in intimate detail how this God is and who this God works, how God works in our lives, right? Nobody I know was converted to faith by apologetics. It wasn't by reading a book or by the reasonableness even of the whole thing. Most people become involved in our faith because of the excitement of the other person. Right? We've been invited by somebody either into the midst of this community or another community of faith because we see something there. We're enlivened by something there. We're impassioned by something there that invites us into something else. And that's what we tend to do, my friends. We tend to invite others into that which we're excited about. So are we excited about our relationship with our God? Or is our God even excitable? Can our God be excitable? It drives us right back to our fundamental understanding. Who is God? Who is our God? If we step back to the gospel, we'd have to conclude, we would have to conclude that there had to be something that Jesus had, or something that Jesus understood about God and who God was and how God was to be acting in our lives that invited people into that experience almost so convincingly that they would leave what they were doing to enter into that experience. My question is, do we have that in our lives? Are we that excited about and that thrilled by and that impassioned by our belief about who God is and how God works in our lives? If we are, it'll be a rather easy road for us to walk. It'll also be a rather easy question for us to answer. Who is it? Who is our God? So here it is if we take it really simply. I wonder if you and I were to walk down to the marketplaces of our day, and maybe even the marketplaces of here in the Twin Cities. Let's just picture this. What if you and I walked down to Farmer's Market? I know we can't do it now. There's nothing down there except snow and ice. But if it's during the summer, could we walk down to the Farmer's Market, and if we had 30 seconds to state who it is that our God is that we believe in, would anybody want to follow us? Would anybody want to? Or what if we went to the Xcel Energy Center, or the Target Center, or the Guthrie? Any place where people gather. Would anybody want to be, or to even come and look at what we believe? I wonder. Would anyone want to learn any more, or would they want to turn around and run? In my life, in my growth in theology and understanding, I know that sometimes I would have said, let's run. Let's run. Hopefully, though, we can flip that around. Hopefully we can start to turn that and say, if I'm going to believe in a God and to believe in a Jesus, then I'm going to believe in a Jesus that's at least positive for you, for me, for my life, and for your life. I'm going to believe in a Jesus that really believes in hope, a Jesus that says, into this land of Zebulun and Naphtali, right? A light has shone, a new light has shone. And hopefully we can be that light for one another. Hopefully we can lift one another up to shine like we are called to shine. So in there lies the question for the coming week. Is the God of our belief and understanding attractive at all or in any way? I hope that we can walk out of these doors, like I said last week, with our head held high. I hope we can walk out of these doors with a song in our heart and a smile on our face, singing that which we are about, because we are about the light. The prophet Zechariah put it like this: may you and I all become prisoners of hope.